But anyway, speaking of fathers, we're going to bring on Chuck Hicks, Mr. Black History. He's here with us today. Chuck, how are you? You're literally
I,
here with us.
yes, I am. I am wonderful, and just been inspired by uh, the last speaker. Just
Yeah,
absolutely informative.
wonderful. And I mean, that's what inspires you to do this Father's Day event, right?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
it was an interesting thing because, as you know, I've been a social activist and a political activist all my life. Uh, and a couple of years ago, when Trump was in the Black Lives Matter was down in the plaza and there was demonstrations and things, and somebody asked me if I was going to go down and demonstrate about Black Fathers Matter, Black Lives Matter. And I said, I'm 75 years old and I'm too old to throw a brick and run. And so then I started thinking about something. I said, well, maybe I should do a Black Fathers motorcade and just do something that says a salute to Black men. That there's something good about Black men. There's something to be proud about Black men, and that everybody can do this. And so I came up with this idea that it becomes important to celebrate Black men. And
Mhm.
an easy way of doing it is that we have a motorcade. We go through wards 1, 5, 7, and 8, which are the highest percentages of Blacks in the city. And we celebrate Black men. And uh, Courtney Malloy has done 3 articles about that project. Lots of people are coming out for it. We even have this year, we have some bicyclists riding, we have some motorcycles, we have some cars. It's a whole wonderful, wonderful array of people celebrating Black men. And I think it's so important that every once in a while we can say something good about Black men. Because if it had not been for Black men, uh, where would we be? And even when we go back and make this connection between the Civil War and where we are today, it was the Black men who were slaves, who ran away, who joined the army to fight to free themselves, their families, and their children.
Yeah,
And from that, we have Juneteenth.
right.
It's
Exactly.
Juneteenth is about celebrating Black men. From uh, and Black men were the ones who fought for us in slavery, and so it's an extension of Juneteenth and Black fathers right together. It's one connection. I think it becomes important that we not break that we see the connection between that. And
Right.
of course, the African American Civil War Museum is a wonderful place to go with Dr. Frank Smith to talk about that. And we
Exactly.
and
You
we
know,
yeah.
Chuck, I want to just also say, I think when it comes to we focus a lot on motherhood,
Yeah,
but fatherhood to me is one of those topics that we don't always, I guess, focus on and try to, I mean, dissect. I mean, men do what they do, and we make assumptions. I mean, we know people don't. When a woman has a child, first of all, she does not come with an instruction book on how to be a mother, right? And the
right.
same thing with fathers. They don't come with an instruction book on how to be a father. And so that's why I think what you're doing, I've ridden in that motorcade with you. I can see the pride in the men that we pass on the streets, when we wish them happy Father's Day and they see the motorcade that's dedicated to them. I think it's a great, great event that you have put together, and more people want to participate. And I think you have a father and his sons with us today, right?
Yes, Eric Smith, and I'll just say this, and then you can talk to him. One of the most inspiring things to me when we were on the motorcade one day, this guy came up, young guy, about 19 or 20. He said, "Mister, I never heard any. You don't know how proud I am to hear somebody say something good about us Black men. Nobody ever said anything good about us." And he was just a man on the street, and it just touched me because I grew up in a whole different kind of lifestyle. My dad was close with us, and he was a civil rights leader, and so I had a whole
Mm-hmm.
different world.
Mm-hmm.
To hear some Black man say, "You don't know how much this means to me to see somebody saying something good about Black men, and how many of those signs can I have?"
Right, exactly. I can understand it. I know those are high commodity. Every time people
Yeah,
see them, they want one. Eric
yeah.
Smith, thank you for being with us. And you have two young people with you. Can you introduce them?
Absolutely, absolutely. This is my oldest, Eric the second, and this is my youngest, Chase.
Hello.
Eric and Chase, how are you all?
Good.
What you gonna do for your dad for Father's Day?
Well, I brought him a gift, and we may go out somewhere.
Okay. All right. What about you, Eric? What do you have? Can you share? I know he's sitting there, but can you share what you're gonna do with your dad?
Yeah.
What you want? What is it?
Oh, we're probably gonna go somewhere nice and probably go out to eat or something like that.
Nice, nice. What's his favorite thing to eat?
Depends. I know.
Okay. Well, that sounds like a whole nother conversation, Eric.
Definitely.
Yeah. You know, are you going to participate in the motorcade?
Oh, we're definitely going to participate in the motorcade. So we participated last year. It was an honor to be there. We had a great time, and it's one of those things where as we rode around the motorcade and we were throwing signs out, it was just a surreal feeling. I got to look in my rearview mirror and see these boys here throwing out signs with smiles on their faces. And the individuals that were receiving the signs, I mean, you saw so much emotion. You saw people smiling. You saw people crying. You saw people dancing. You saw just it was just a joyous occasion. And you can see that the motorcade and that recognition that was happening was also an empowering thing for Black males and Black fathers along that path. And as a Black father and raising two boys in the city, you know, I just always think it's important for them to have that exposure, for them to see Black males, for them to see other people in the community, and for them to be a part of the community, right? Because it's one thing to live in the community, and it's one thing to, you know, go about your day-to-day activities, but it's another thing to actually be in the community and be a part of the community. And that's a big thing for me. That was a big thing that I was a part of growing up, and that exposure and that, you know, just having that exposure gives you a different perspective on life when you can see people from different walks of life and they become humans, right? You're really able to humanize people and understand the strife that they go through and the things that they go through.
So, you know, it's interesting to me because, I mean, so many of us are trying to do, you know, the ancestry. We're trying to know from, you know, what country in Africa we came from and what have you, which I think is important. But a lot of us can't go back beyond our great grandfathers or our great grandparent. We might do a grandparent, maybe a great grandparent, but then we're stuck. Right. And there's a reason why we need to know that, and why, you know, generationally, you know, because of, you know, even for health reasons, you know, yeah. Need to know from whence we came. Is your father, your grandfather, do they know their grands, or what's the situation with you all?
Absolutely. So my father, I grew up in a home. My mom and dad were both present. And, you know, my father was one of those people that he was a man's man, right? And he definitely passed those lessons along. But I think he also showed me how to show up for people, right? One thing about growing up, I grew up in a family of 3 boys. We had 2 god brothers of mine that were very, very close. I was the youngest. I had my dad there. I had uncles, a slew of uncles, right? And it just gives you a certain level. It gave me a certain level of confidence, and it gave me a certain level of like, okay, no matter what, I know I got these men here that's going to go through things with me, and they're not going to judge me. And, you know, it allowed me to take certain risks in life, and those risks really paid off, and having that confidence really paid off. So, you know, my dad really gave me a lot of lessons around just how to be a man. And I mean that in past the physical side and, you know, sports and all that, but really emotionally, and how to show up and how to be humble and how to love, right? And he just gave me a lot of life lessons that I still take with me to this day.
I want to go back to your sons. Eric, I'm going to start with you. What is something your dad tells you all the time? And, you know, no matter what you do, Dad's going to say, what is it?
Don't compare yourself to other people.
All right. Okay. All right. And what about your brother? Tell me something your
Stay,
dad said. Huh?
stay confident. Don't ever give up, and always do your dreams.
Whoa, that is wonderful. I mean, those are messages that you all will take with you for the rest of your lives. And that, I mean, how does that make you feel to know that
Oh,
that's
it's it.
in?
Oh yeah, it just makes me proud, right? It makes you have a sense of okay, I'm doing something right,
Mhm.
and it's not just me, right? They have a whole village of people, but that
Right.
village coming around them and the village being there, like as a village, we're doing something right.
Wonderful. Chuck,
Yes,
can you give some details on the motorcade on Saturday? I mean, on
certainly
Sunday?
on Sunday.
Yes.
We start at the African American Civil War Museum. We will go through wards 1, 5, 7, and 8. We start decorating at 10:30, and if you want to decorate your car, we'll have balloons, we have banners, and we line up and we take off at 12 o'clock. It's about an hour, and we'll have signs that everybody will have a load of signs that they will be given out along the route. And all the people who are in the motorcade this year, we have a wonderful treat. Everybody in the motorcade will get a hat. And that hat says, Black fathers matter, Black men matter, Black boys matter. And on the back it says, Black health matters, because when we ended up at the big chair, we're having a Black men's health fair. Of course, anybody is welcome, but we're focusing on Black men and their health. And we just want everybody to come out and join this wonderful, wonderful tradition that is going to grow. As a matter of fact, one of the interesting things is if we've gotten calls from Prince George's County people, then can we be a part of it? We
Oh,
said
yeah.
certainly. And so our goal is to begin to grow this in the DC area where at some point during Father's Day, people say, let's go to DC for that motorcade and be a part of that.
So you want folks to join you at least at what time? At 10?
10:30.
10:30 on Sunday,
Yeah.
and you said,
African American Civil War Museum.
do you have that? We need that address, which is I know it's is it Vermont?
No, yeah, it's 1000 Vermont Avenue. It's right
Right,
down from Benchill, and that's at the Green Line
right.
subway. The
Okay.
Civil War Museum.
So
Yeah.
meet there at 10:30. You're gonna pull off by noon and
Yes,
go towards 1, 5, 7.
5, 7, and 8.
Wonderful.
Yes. And
All right.
we are excited about all the people that are coming. We got a group of bicycle people. We got some of the Miss CEDC people involved. We got the first Black female race car
Wow.
lady who's going to
Okay.
be riding with us.
Wonderful.
Just
Everybody
wonderful
celebrating
people.
fathers. Okay.
Yes, yes.
That's good.
And it's time. It's just long overdue.
I agree.
And there's no but or and about this. It's just we love Black fathers. We love Black men. We love Black boys because that's our future.
Right, right. The love is strong.
And you can testify to your dad.
Oh, no question. Yes.
And just the influence he had on you.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
many of us. And I like to think that all of us don't have to be, or dads don't have to be a Bob Hicks in the civil rights movement, or Calvin Rolark with just a tremendous fight in him for things that he stood for, the paper and all that. But just men who do nothing but make their kids know that they love them, that they're
Right.
important.
Right.
That's everybody can't be all of that, but everybody can love and be an influence. And that's the key.
That's a great note to end on, Chuck. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Smith family, thank you for being with us.
Thank you for having us.
Have a great Father's Day.
Absolutely. And happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there, and happy Juneteenth to everyone.
All right. Okie doke. Thank you so much. Have a good one.
Where do you come to get